Okay, well, let's start the meeting at 9:30.
Okay.
All right. And following the agenda, we'll take up the minutes for the meeting on January 12th. I don't know if I sent you the wrong, I forgot to change the 2020 to 2021. I have that here, but maybe I changed it and sent it to you guys. So do you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, we can fix the agenda.
Yeah. So anyway, the minutes I thought looked terrific as usual and very complete. Anybody have any questions, adjustments, whatever?
Nope.
Good job. Good job.
They're great.
So did you move to approve the minutes, Bob? Was that what?
I would like to move that we approve the minutes of meeting.
Okay. Yeah, a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Good. Executive session minutes. They look good?
Also fine.
That's good.
Okay. Approve the minutes. Yep. A second? Okay, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay. All right. On to the treasurer's report, which was pretty straightforward this month because unfortunately checks didn't get written. So they will be signed off on today, I understand, and going out today. Is that right, Jeremy?
Because of the weather, it's going to have to be tomorrow, but tomorrow.
Okay, people are desperate, just so you know.
I know, but I would have been able to get to Linda's house before the close of the day to get them out. So tomorrow, first thing, they'll be out, and that's the soonest we could do it.
Okay.
So a question. The 27,472 gifts, is that money that came in from the solicitation? And or that's all from the solicitation?
I believe so.
Wow.
Yes.
Awesome.
We'll look down at how much the Board of Selectmen's tax relief fund got.
This is Jane. Can I offer something right now that was just, I got a phone call right before the meeting the person who called wanted me to assure the Hugh Cargill Trust that they would be receiving an anonymous check or anonymous gift for $150,000.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Yikes.
In part to make up for the, having had the home rule petitions sit, the concern of this donor was that the people who would have benefited from that process are still without help. And this family wanted to make sure that that was done.
Are there any strings attached to it?
None that were described to me.
So they're all going into the trust.
That I relayed this, that it was, as he kept saying, it's a good check, and none of you would be surprised, nor would you consider asking that question.
Okay, all right, that's pretty amazing, and I think we need to discuss that probably at a future meeting.
Right, I just wanted to put it out there while this conversation was going on, and I'll leave it there.
And how we thank them, anonymous people. We are so grateful, anonymous people, for this generosity.
I will relay that. I suspect you'll be able to as well.
I am blown away.
Yeah, that is fabulous.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Well,
I have a question about that. I have a question about it. When you asked if there were any strings, could we use it for CMLP as well as the other if we bump up against our max.
That's not a problem. We, the CMLP is restricted, but Hugh Cargill is not restricted.
Right.
So if it goes to Hugh Cargill, it's within our purview to use it
in the letter.
Basically, as long as the donor hasn't restricted it, then we can use it.
Yeah, good.
For a variety of things. Like I said, how much was the check again, Jane?
Sorry, I was muting it while my spouse walked by making a ridiculous face and noise. You should anticipate 150,000.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's excellent. Amazing news. Thank you.
And we'll use it wisely.
I don't think they have any question that this is, yeah, I don't think anybody's questioning that.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? I have a question about this, which it's a general question. How do we thank our donors? Like, is there a process for?
Yes, there is a process. There is a letter that Jeremy prepares that includes, I believe it includes the amount. It's been a while since I've seen one. Thanking the donor. And Jeremy just this morning or maybe yesterday afternoon asked me if I wanted to come in and sign them, he and I will figure out how we're going to handle the sending of the letters.
And how many are there per year?
Well, look at the number down at the bottom. Right now we have 51 letters that we have to send out because we have 51 donors from the solicitation.
I see. Okay. So
yes.
116 is the total in 2021?
No, it's the total for this time in 2021. It's the total so far, but we get them trickling in all year long.
So yeah, typically we've gotten in the past couple of weeks a handful, and I prepared the thank you letters just for Judy to sign, and we have 51 right now, she said, and so they started to kind of dribble in, whereas a few weeks ago they were more so flooding in. So now I've prepared the letters, so we should be good to go to send those out.
Yeah. So I don't know a lot about nonprofits, so forgive me if I sound ignorant or am ignorant. In Gaining Ground, we're assigned each board member has a group of donors that we stay in personal contact with, whether it's a phone call or a personal note or an email or something, because it's how we strengthen those relationships and grow the donor base. And so I just don't know if we have something like that with Hugh Cargill, where it's a little more of a personal thank you and a personal relationship with the trust.
No. At this point, no.
No.
Well, I think generally when we've written these notes, we've all been able to go in and maybe add a real personal note right on the letter. We've done that, whether we actually signed a little note thanking them because the person.
Okay. Just yeah.
I haven't, this time I'm not sure what's I think you're just going to sign, Judy, right? For all the letters.
That's what the chairman has always done, has gone in and signed
all of them,
the thank you notes.
Yeah.
But I'm just looking at you, Bob, and thinking, well, maybe you'd like to go into to do the tax relief, since that's your portfolio. I don't know. We can. They do get personally signed, Elizabeth, but we don't follow up with, emails throughout the year. We just haven't done that.
Are we doing the tax relief? I thought that we do it, or there's the committee, the town.
I don't know, Jeremy.
Tax relief.
Since I haven't done this for a while.
Yeah, the tax relief committee actually they signed them last week. So I prepared them for the tax relief committee last week, and Eric is.
So it's just the 51 that I'm responsible for signing.
Yep.
Plus whatever has dribbled in.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Any more questions about that?
It's an amazing gift. That's just incredible.
Just,
wow.
Yeah,
I think we'll do a very, well, it's anonymous, so I don't even know who it is. So anyway, if everybody is comfortable with the treasurer's report, I'd like to hear.
I move to accept the treasurer's report as written.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you all. Next on the item on the agenda is the Silent Fund update. And actually, Elizabeth is going to be working with Bonnie on the camperships, which is the next item for the Silent Fund to be involved with. I requested an additional $7,000, which when added to the $5,000 that's already in the account, gives us approximately $12,000, which is a couple of $1,000s more than we've used in the past for camperships. But I just decided to be a little conservative and make sure that we had enough. Who knows what's going to happen this summer with camps. So we have $12,000 to work with. Elizabeth has the calendar, which is, Bonnie has sent out a very clear calendar of how we work up to the final decisions on the camperships. And I think there's nothing really new about the whole thing. I think we'll have to decide whether we want to get together to make the decisions on how much we donate for the camperships, or whether at that time Elizabeth does it alone, as Sally did it last year, alone with Bonnie's input. So that'll it's to be continued as we see how things are going. Are there any questions?
No.
Okay, that's my update on the Silent Fund camperships. I suspect we will be talking about this in the future. Continuing business. Elizabeth is going, Elizabeth, how's the?
Yes, so I sent around the social services resources that I edited. I didn't add anybody or take anyone away. I did go through the town website and learn everything I could about each one. And in some cases, I changed the wording to either add information or correct information, emails, phone numbers, things like that. And then I just made it really consistent. So every single one of them ends with for information and assistance, and then whatever the contact information is. Made it fit on 2 pages. It really was, just most of what I was doing was just intending to have it look nice when we print a 2-page PDF. Yeah. Well, I don't know who, go ahead.
I thought your suggestion to add SNAP was a good one.
Yeah, so that was just a question for everybody today is, so I came across this 2017 document that the town put out. Yeah. It's like and 70 actually, pages.
I have it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got it from Bonnie, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nicely done. It's out of date.
Exactly. It's also much too long for, I mean, we can have 2 things, the 2-pager with the core things and then that bigger one. And there were a few in there that I thought would be nice to add to our 2-pager. Like
I was thinking that at the bottom of it, if we could give a direct route to open this document up on the town's website, that might be a good addition at the bottom of the back side of the page.
You mean like a link? A link?
Yeah. The same way that these links are live in the document now, it would be a link to that 2017 document. So at the risk of offering to do a very enormous job, that 2017 document, is there any plan to update it?
I think that's a Bonnie Wilbur.
Yeah, that's
okay.
At this point, I think she's pretty much flat out, but I'm sure it's something that's on her radar.
Okay. I just, again, gaining ground because it's such a huge passion for me. The gaining ground description says that we grow over 30,000 pounds of food. And this past year, we grew over 120,000 pounds. So I thought, I want to update that one. Yeah, there's some pretty, you know, and just, that's a simple, you know, little moment of bragging, but checking all the emails and contacts and phone numbers and that sort of thing.
That's really up to
Bonnie. Okay. All right. Well, I'll add the link. I'll add Snap. Any other ones that people sort of?
You know, I think the most important thing is to put Bonnie's name out there and also the Council on Aging, so that people, I mean, they're the real sources and they can pass on the information about these other things. But Snap looked, I agree, like it was something that the person who's requesting information or looking for information can handle themselves.
So is Bonnie, is she our community services coordinator?
Yes.
So why don't I just put her name right there in the, you know, I don't know if you can see me changing it.
She's
I know, but
entry.
So can you see me changing it?
No, it's
the document. No? Okay.
Are you talking about changing this document?
No. Our two pager. It sounds like I should put Bonnie's name and contact information up at the very top, the first one that says community services.
I'm looking for it right now.
It's on top of page 2.
Community services coordinator. It doesn't have Bonnie's name. You know,
right. It just has her phone number.
I think that we should, because names are changeable.
Yeah.
I think this will be a longer lived document if it just has the contact information.
So then that's a question for several of these where it says, I mean, under fuel assistance, it has her name.
Bonnie.
Under the veterans,
I think that's a question for Bonnie.
Okay.
In fact, I'd like to do a little wordsmithing. I just looked at this yesterday. I'm sorry, looked at it carefully yesterday. And I'd like to do a little wordsmithing on it. But for the most part, I think it's pretty complete with what people can do for themselves.
So is there any chance I could just see a draft, not to change anything, just because I'm curious?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought you got it.
Yeah.
When I sent it out as a reply to the agenda, and I just assumed you got it, Jane. But yeah, absolutely. I can also, I think we have a Google Drive folder, don't we? I can put it there and everyone.
Not yet. That's a discussion for another time. Jane, I know I sent you a copy of it and you replied, you know, looks great or something.
Maybe that was a while ago. I apologize.
Yes, I think it was a while ago. And we added two items to it, the town assessors and the veteran services.
Okay, all right. So it hasn't changed since then. That's yeah.
But other than that, it's basically the same document that I distributed 2 months ago, maybe.
Oh, I'll send it again because yeah. I'll just send it around again. I sent the document, the Word doc, so people could change it, but I don't want to end up with multiple drafts from different people.
No.
So maybe Judy, go ahead and make changes that you want to make and send it back to me, and then I'll send it around to everyone again. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And I would lead off, Elizabeth, with Concord Community Services Coordinator.
I have a general question.
And Concord Council on Aging. I think you should, you know.
Well, at the top it says Town of Concord.
Yeah, I know, but that's how it's referred to in everything. And so it's on page 2 in what I got. Page 2, page 1 started with mental health assistance. Maybe that's what we all need on page 1.
No, that's page 2.
Oh, okay. Well, that's how it came out on mine.
Yeah. Okay. Well, no, it starts off with community services coordinators, the first item. But we'll send you out after Elizabeth and I've sort of ironed out some some small wrinkles.
Yep.
And also, like, Bonnie's name is in some of them.
Distributed.
To Elizabeth's point, you know.
You froze,
You're frozen,
Judy.
Bob.
Yeah, I missed a lot. I actually got kicked out and then it came back in again. But I was just saying that Bonnie's name is in some of those paragraphs. Yes. So that's the kind of thing you'll be cleaning up, I guess. Or
I would, yes.
Have it in.
I need to spend some time on this, just.
Judy, if you would update Open Table as well, because it does say by appointment only, and we're delivering now, and there's lots of other methods of receiving food than just the appointment at the Maynard Pantry.
Yeah, thank you, Dina. That was actually a question that I had for people about Open Table. And also, and this really speaks to your point, Judy, for this document to be accurate for a long period of time, the less the less detail we give about activities, the better, but we want to give enough of a description that people know this is the organization they should be calling.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'll do some more work on that.
Okay, I have a question for everybody. Maybe you can fill me in. Under town assessors, it says that there are tax exempt programs available for income qualified homeowners, and I don't think that's true. I think that it's definitely for income qualified seniors,
right,
veterans, but I don't think we have anything in the assessors.
I'll verify that. I'm making edits to mine as we're talking.
Poor, you can.
Yeah.
What don't you understand on that, Judy?
Yeah.
What?
Okay, wait to figure that one out. Just our tax relief and taxers for income qualified homeowners. And I don't think that's true, but it could, perhaps we need to make another, you know, the Hugh Cargill has tax relief for income qualified. It just shouldn't be under the assessors.
Well, I think it makes sense if you separate it off the tax, have like senior tax exemption as we're defining it, you know, would be for seniors tax relief. It's true for that because it is true for tax relief.
Exactly.
So you don't have to be a senior.
That's right. And I just didn't want people to think, oh, I only make $50,000 a year and I can't afford my taxes. Therefore, I go to the assessors, because that's not going to work. But we should, you know, probably put another paragraph in there about our program. But that's something Elizabeth and I can work out.
Okay.
Can I ask a question there? Do you want to leave an opener for other programs that are likely to, you know, if this document is going to have a lifetime, and we hope it will, I'm thinking about the different affordable housing measures that we're putting into place.
Yeah, and does that, so for the affordable housing, that goes through a different organization. It doesn't go through the town assessor, right?
Well, Concord Housing Authority, are you saying something more than Concord Housing Authority?
Yes. Concord Housing Authority owns the buildings, right? And then affordable housing is something that goes through the planning board with applications, right? It's a different.
Right, it's a different, we have multiple pathways to support housing. And when the senior means tax exemption finally goes through, that will also be another option to.
What do you mean when it finally goes through?
when it's approved.
Well, one of the problems was because the home rule pool didn't get passed this year, the process has to restart.
Oh, no, I guess I'm really confused now. Because last year, the assessors arranged for certain means tested seniors to receive tax relief.
Right.
Has that stopped?
I don't know that I shouldn't say it's stopped, but I think we were approaching it with the expectation of the home rule petition moving through, because there was nothing to anticipate that it wouldn't. I don't know whether the assessor's office is going to continue the practice up until the point that the home rule petition is passed, and then it'll simply be codified.
Yeah. Okay, I have a suggestion that we continue this discussion to another meeting and do some more. One of us, Elizabeth or I, will talk with Lane Partridge and find out how we should present this on this document. Anybody have any other suggestions?
A good idea.
I would suggest reaching out to the Tax Fairness Committee, because that's where this emanated from.
Which committee is that? Tax
Fairness.
Fairness.
Fairness. Okay. And maybe we need to decide that we will be expanding, changing, editing this document rather than make it for the next umpty years. Things do change quickly.
My feeling is not to make it too detailed. We were sort of like a placeholder or something. We don't want to repeat all of the same things that are out, you know, like to double up on. Otherwise, this document's going to really grow. This is just, to me, it's like, hey, you know, this SNAP, this available. The details, you know, you have to work out. I don't think we want to put every detail into it, just to say, hey, this is available.
So I took a lot of notes. I took a lot of notes, and I'll work on it some more. And I think overall, there's a question on what contact information to put in, how specific it should be, because we don't want to have to be changing it all the time. How many details of the program, because sometimes the details change, like open table. Checking in with the Tax Fairness Committee, because they're the originator of the document. Ask Bonnie Wilbur more about contact information. What do I have? Check in with Lane on the assessors programs. Add something more general about affordable housing opportunities. Add SNAP. And then Judy, you and I, once I kind of put all this together, I'll send it to you, Judy, and maybe we can brainstorm together just to come up with a new document for next review.
Sounds good to me.
Good. Okay, and Jane, Jane, do you want a copy now, or do you want to wait till after Judy and I have hit it again?
I'll wait until you're, you know, the next iteration.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Thanks.
All right, are we ready to move on to the intake job description that Lucy? It's a really good job description. I think I could do the job without having somebody tutor me.
Well, I've already made changes to it. The provide payment authorization form, that paragraph and the one following, I'm just going to tinker with those to clean it up. I have changed, just so you know, I've changed the way I do things since we started this and we can't go to the townhouse. So I don't make multiple copies of the authorization form and attach them to every little thing for Jeremy, because it just makes extra paperwork for him. I do make them for my own files, and I attach them to each approval or disapproval of a grant request. And so I'll just clean that up. But I mainly, monthly prepare and I haven't sent it to everybody, maybe I have, but I do a summary checklist for Jeremy. And I put in it the client and the address and the payment to and the address, amount, and the fund. And then when I do that with Jeremy, I also attach copies of all the bills. I've been able to get all of our applicants to do a screenshot and somehow email me the invoices, which is a lot quicker than having them go to the townhouse and drop things off. So nobody has to go anywhere. And I think it's working really well. In fact, when they apply for something, I immediately ask them to send me a copy of the invoice. So we're talking about the same issue and I know exactly where. So that's, I've just simplified and I hope it's okay with everyone.
Yeah. I really like the idea of the summary checklist.
Now, was this based on the fact of COVID? You know, did you tailor it, or would it be applicable even after that? Is that what
I think it's applicable going forward. It's much simpler. It started because of COVID, and you know, people saying, "Where is the mailbox at the townhouse?" and "How do I get there?" And so I thought, I'll just do it this way now, and it just seems to be much smoother. And I also have all my documents in front of me, so I can discuss them with the clients, with the applicants.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a really good move. I'm glad you decided to do that, Lucy.
Yeah.
Rather than having to go in, make copies and.
Yeah, no, none of that anymore. I'm just trying to simplify it, but make it really clear. And so, you know, and also hoping that the checks can go out quicker now. That's really my goal, because the clients, you know, once they get approved and I let them know, then they think they're going to go out that afternoon, which is of course not the case. So I think it still will improve, you know, Jeremy being able to send checks quickly.
No, I like that.
So I'll just tidy up those 2 paragraphs and
sure. I had just one suggestion is when you're talking about if the email isn't available to the client, copies of the invoices should be delivered to the townhouse.
I'm going to take that out because I get the invoices actually, you know, if it's a dentist or wherever it is, I get those, you know, they send them to me. So I immediately get the invoices from
the only thing I can
source.
think of, possibly a few people who might want to mail them in.
Yeah, well, they can do that.
Yeah, okay.
I haven't come across one person who wants to mail them in. So.
Well, it's working for you then.
Yeah.
Are we all set with this? Oh. My computer is saying playing music. It's my clock here that is chiming. Are we all set on this?
So I'll just send a cleaner copy to Dina and she can send it out with the, you know, next month. This is the clean copy that we'll approve. Okay.
Okay.
Rather than that, why don't you send it to everybody rather than, than to Dina for distribution? Okay. All right. Let's move on to, Bob wanted to talk a little bit about the Gmail file.
G Suite.
I think just to bring.
Can't hear you, Bob.
Can't hear you.
I'll put the mic.
Wait a minute. Can you hear me now at all? Or
yes.
I'm unraveling. Just to bring Elizabeth up to speed on this, last summer I suggested that we have like website, but we could put, my only intention was just to put.
We missed the whole beginning.
Okay, I'm on the way.
Bob?
Can't hear you at all.
Can't hear you.
Sound.
How's that?
Nope, that's better, yeah.
Okay, keep it like that. Yes.
Okay. I didn't have it plugged in all the way.
Oh, that'll do it.
So I was saying that just to bring Elizabeth up to speed, you know, what last summer I had suggested we maybe have like a website to keep mainly all our templates and these like responsibilities that we've developing now, to have it in that central website. And my intent was not to put like actual like minutes of meeting in there, only like templates, because like when people leave, I mean, they have a lot of things in their own files that may not get transferred over, but I was looking to have some kind of a central place. Like Lucy's got some great forms, you know, and there's some letters that we put out for tax relief, you know, the typical letter that goes out for, you know, and there's also maybe a template for the minutes of meeting as well. So that was my thought. I know, Jeremy, you had maybe some potential legal issues with if we did certain things.
That was described in the last month. There were no problems, or the month before that.
So as long as there's a couple things to consider. I mean, as long as there is one person maintaining and managing these files from the committee, because it would be an open meeting law violation if there were multiple committee members uploading things and doing things in a Google Drive between meetings. But I think, I mean, and Bob, sorry if I'm stepping in, but me and Bob have discussed this kind of behind the scenes, but I think there are a couple things. If this is just intended for having a blank copy of the tax relief application on hand, I think maybe the best thing to do would just to renovate the Hugh Cargill town website with all of these blank forms, just so that they're centrally located there. But I also have all of these forms in our town files that I can send out upon request. So I mean, really, it's up to the committee if you want to develop a Google Drive. It would need to be maintained really by one member.
I don't think it should be on the website.
Yeah.
You're frozen, Judy.
I'm wondering if we should just have a list of what Jeremy has available for us that, I mean, we could work on a list and then each of us get a copy of the list when we become a member of this committee. And so we know what Jeremy has in his files and can send them out when we need them. Yeah, and that would be easy to maintain a list, I would think.
I didn't realize you had, you know, like a list like that, Jeremy, but Judy, that's a good point. If we do get, you know, if we get something, what you have available for us as a committee, you know,
well, I don't have things like when you said like the stuff that Lucy has, like the things she uses to organize the recipients, stuff like that. I don't have those, but I have things like just the blank tax relief application and the gift acceptance letters and those kind of things. But I don't have the minutes template or
there isn't one.
Documents that Lucy.
There isn't one. We just make it every month.
But the reason I don't think we should have the intake forms on the website, because it really shows all the questions that I ask people, and I don't want that out there. I think it shouldn't be something that town people can access.
It wouldn't be able to, Lucy, but yeah. What I'm hearing, and let me see if I'm hearing this correctly, there are a number of forms that Jeremy has.
Right.
And then we are creating a number of other templates and forms and job descriptions. If we merge what Jeremy has with what we're creating and make a list of all of them, and then Jeremy has them at the town, we would all know what's available, because I think Bob is correct in that when things are on people's personal computers, they get lost. And then we end up reinventing the wheel. So if we had them at the town hall, that's the one that's the always there. And if we just knew what was there, then we wouldn't be reinventing the wheel every time.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I like it.
It does. If Jeremy, so you would be the keeper of all these, I would guess.
Yeah, so I have a Hugh Cargill drive on the computer that was maintained before me by Andrew and then Ruth, I'm guessing before me. And so that gets updated, and anything you send me will go in there.
So could Lucy send you the templates of the documents that she uses to Jeremy? Would Lucy be willing to do that, or?
I'm willing to do it as long as it's only can be accessed by members of the committee.
I think it can only be accessed by Jeremy.
Right.
Then pass it out as needed.
Yes, right. That's what I mean. Yes.
Does that make sense? I mean, that
would serve my purpose. You know, what I was thinking, just to have these forms somewhere centrally located where we could access them.
So, I mean, I have a lot of the forms that Lucy's talking about because Ray Andrews passed them on to me, and they're just sitting in my computer.
I've changed them.
Okay. Of course.
So go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So I was going to say, if Jeremy could give us the list of everything he has with the date of when it was last updated, it should be on each of the documents, so we know it's the most recent. And then we are creating job descriptions, which I'll bet Jeremy doesn't have, but I could be wrong. And our updated job description. And then I think, Judy, that was a really good idea, that when people come on board, that they get a list of all of the documents. So if their job is, you know, the clerk, they can say, oh, let me get the job description for the clerk or whatever. And then it would all be held in the Hugh Cargill drive that Jeremy or Jeremy's successor, which we hope will not be for a really, 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 really long time, will have access to.
I think this sounds viable.
Yeah, I think so. I'd be happy with that. You know, as long as I didn't realize Jeremy you had all these forms, et cetera. I know a lot of times we're working on changing, if we change, for instance, application letter for the, say, tax relief. You know, so we had to update that. You know, we used to do quarterly, now we do annual. So it had to change a little bit. So if we, as long as I know, like you've got the master, that would be good.
So Jeremy, is this a problem for you? It's going to create a little more work, I suspect, initially. I
don't think so. I think it might be
documents.
It might be an hour of work and then time saved afterwards. So no, this is perfect.
Okay.
Should
so
we
can you send us out a list of the documents?
Yep, I'll get cracking on that.
Go ahead.
I'm wondering, when we send Jeremy the things that we've been doing, some of them are PDFs, some of them are Word documents. If they're PDFs, they cannot be, at least I can't edit them.
I can convert them to Word. While we have this PDF, I can.
Okay, great. So we can send it to you, however, except not in the application that Lucy first sent. Can anybody open that?
Everybody did. You were the only one who couldn't.
Really? Huh. Okay.
Wasn't easy.
Well, what are we talking about now?
Sorry.
When Lucy sent the intake description, I could not open it.
Oh, no, that one I could open. Yeah.
What
Oh,
the problem?
That wasn't
problem was that I have a new revented new computer that's not new, and so it goes into some text form, which I don't like. I just like to put so I transferred it to Word for you.
Yeah, that was fine. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll just do them in Word.
I got it in notes, I think.
Yes, and I don't like notes. I don't use notes,
so I just simply copied it and put it into a Word document.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Fine workaround.
Okay.
Okay, so I think we're on a roll here, and Jeremy's going to send us out a list, and then we can go through our own documents and send them back to Jeremy. And
perfect.
All right. I think this sounds terrific. Is there any other business?
Can I raise one item really quick? I know I'm not a committee member, but I think it would be useful. So I think maybe at an upcoming meeting, clearly we've had, during COVID in particular, we've had an issue getting out payments in a timely manner. And I think that's something that we could really kind of 21st century eyes moving forward, along as, which we're thinking about with other town operations as well. So I think going forward, I would recommend to the committee maybe writing a letter or a memo of some sort to the finance department and to the finance director, Carrie LaFleur, asking if we could explore ways to do electronic payments for the monthly assistance.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I thought we had discussed it earlier and it wasn't really feasible, but do you think now it might be?
Well, okay. I think we discussed it, I think it was one of the first weeks of the pandemic, and it was just everybody's hair was on fire, and I don't know, okay. I don't know the details. Carrie might, it might not be something that's feasible.
You know what? I'll be happy to take that on, and I'll give her a call actually and see if we can discuss it. Emails sometimes,
right?
Are lost, yeah.
Jeremy, I think that's a great idea.
Clear. I would think that's fabulous. So that's on my agenda. I will give Carrie a call.
One thing you might mention to her is with these lengthy delays, there are often penalties on the bills, added to the bills of our clients. And I'm very worried about that, like car repossession and insurance. So that's what's made me so nervous this month, not having any of the things go out.
I suspect she's sensitive to that. So I will be letting everybody know what happens on that one.
Okay.
Anything else we need to discuss? Thank you, Jeremy. That's a great idea. All right. I would hear
motion to adjourn.
Close. Yes.
Motion to adjourn to executive session for the purpose of discussing individuals or families seeking assistance, the disclosure of which would be a violation of privacy.
Bye, all.
Right.
Bye, Jane.
Bye, Jane. Thanks for your help and the information.